Good morning, early risers. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Get Up and Job Search with Martin McGovern and Career Therapy. Today, we're going to be talking about networking. More specifically, we're going to be talking about how networking has changed over the years. In light of recent events and 2020 being as crazy as it is, a huge part of networking, going out and getting, brown liquid drugs with people, has completely disappeared for the most part. Some people are doing virtual coffees. Some people are finding ways around it, wearing masks, putting their, cold brew straw beneath the mask. I don't know what people are doing. But a lot of other folks are turning to the internet for their networking. And, that's always kind of been the case. But now that we are here in the world that we're in with the quarantines and everything, we're expanding a little bit of our mindset around what is the definition of networking? When we say go out and meet people, what are we actually trying to do? And a big thing at Career Therapy that we talk about quite often is, rather than trying to network when you need a job, which puts you in this sort of weird space of like half selling to someone while also kind of trying to make friends. Some coaches say, go make friends. And I think that's a bit too much. I say, go make acquaintances. Other people say, just go out and sell hard. Sometimes the hard sale doesn't quite land how you want it. So there's got to be this place in between. There's got to be this place where you're, what I like to call, nerding out with like-minded people, and opportunities tend to arise from those nerd out moments. Good morning, Juan. Good to see you there. So today, we're going to be digging into that, and we've got Alex Cohen joining us, and Alex is going to be talking about Discord and how he has leveraged Discord in order to improve his cybersecurity job search. So we're going to welcome him, give him a big round of applause in the comments if you're here. Alex, welcome to Get Up and Job Search.
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Better now that I've got my bean water. How are you doing?
Got the bean water going. That's what's up. So tell us a little bit about how you got into cybersecurity and what sort of things you're looking to do in your career.
Yeah, so my wife was actually looking into getting into cybersecurity. She's currently a web developer, and she decided that it was really interesting, but the hours of the job weren't for her. So on this search of hers, I discovered that I had a passion for this and that I really wanted to learn more. And I just jumped right in. And what do I want to do in cybersecurity? I want to learn everything that I can so that I can be on the front lines helping to defend our country against people that want to mess with our electrical grid and do malicious things to our infrastructure.
That's awesome.
But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I love that. It's very, Die Hard, like 17, whatever movie that was, when they're taking over the electrical grid and the street signs and stuff. That's awesome, man. And so how has networking been for you, with everything going on in the world? What's it been like?
It's changed so much. I remember when we used to crowd into convention halls and pass around little square business cards and shake hands, and that's not happening these days. So a lot of the networking I've found is happening online, but specifically places like Discord, folks are just hopping over there, and it's just a happening place. So with that, if you don't mind, I'll share my screen and show you kind of one of the.
Before we jump in,
yeah, sure.
We've talked about Discord on this live stream before, but I just want to make sure everyone knows what it is. So could you give us a quick breakdown of what Discord is and how it might differ from, other platforms like Slack or other communities online?
I find it very similar to Slack. So if you're familiar with Slack, Discord will feel a little more natural. There are ways that you can join people's like voice chat channels on Discord that are like slightly different than what you would experience on Slack. but it's the same concept where you have a big meeting place, and then within that meeting place, there's a lot of different channels that you can join and get alerts when folks are posting in it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I know a lot of folks are using Slack to network as well. So this will kind of double as like a Slack and Discord tutorial, because pretty much anything that you would do in Discord, you could probably replicate on Slack in some way, shape, or form. So very cool. All right, let's share your screen and dive in. My first question for you is, how did you find the groups to join?
That's a great question. So I'm also on Twitter. InfoSec Twitter is a really big thing. And one of the things that really caught my attention was DEF CON this year. And I've never been a part of DEF CON. I've heard about it. It sounded really fun and interesting, but this was the first year that I got involved. So I see on Twitter something about the Blue Team Village at DEF CON. So I'm like, okay, this sounds really interesting. So they put their Discord link right here, and you click on it, and it takes you to their Blue Team Village join Discord page.
Nice.
So you join, and I've already done it, so I don't need to show you that. And here's the Blue Team Village, and you can see, kind of like Slack, there's a lot of different channels here. They have channels that are just general channels for people who just want to, chat. If you want to talk about threat hunting or forensics, malware, there's a lot of these channels, but the one that really stood out to me was jobs. So, and I'm going to scroll all the way back here because there's a lot of stuff. So looking through this, just to give you an example, I saw that Rapid7 was looking to hire a couple people, and I reached out directly to someone who was posting, I think it was this gentleman, and I sent him my resume. I'm like, hey, these positions look really great. I'm interested. Here's my resume. And I got some really great real-time feedback of, hey, that looks great. Let me see. But I think you're better suited for an analyst role. Okay, totally get it. So going back to my jobs.
Let's pause there. All right.
Yeah,
so
sure.
What thread was that in?
In jobs.
Okay, so that was in the jobs thread. So
in the jobs thread.
The first thing to point out here is that there's threads for everything: threat hunting, forensics, malware. So joining these communities is great just from a learning standpoint. So that's a huge aspect of being part of these communities, is to just absorb and to learn, especially when you're new to an industry or trying to break into an industry. One of the things that I find is really helpful for folks is just basically being a sponge for the language that people are using. So you can get all the jargon, so you can get all the terminology that people use. And I mean, going to, the boot camp you're in is one way to do it. Joining these communities is another way to do it. So there's a ton of benefit, even if there isn't a jobs hashtag in the Discord that you're in, and a way to connect with people, even if they're not posting jobs, through these other topics. But this one also has a jobs hashtag, so let's dig in there too. So what sort of things are people posting? And I guess probably the bigger question is, how often is this updated?
This is kind of like a more event-centric Discord channel, so it's not like there's been a ton of activity. As you can see, 23 messages since August 21st, so that's really not a lot. But you will get helpful advice of people who are going through the job search, like, hey, this is a very common interview question in security. I use it often. Make sure you get this right. So it's stuff like that inevitably links back to Twitter, because InfoSec Twitter is huge. But just outside of using it in this capacity, there's a lot of other things going on here, like the Meet a Mentor channel.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Which I got paired with a mentor in the industry who's been extremely helpful, really knowledgeable, really insightful, and very generous with their time.
Walk us through the process of that. How did that work? Because a lot of people want mentors, but they have no idea how to go about it. So what has been your experience? How did you get your mentor? It looks like there's an application or something to fill out. How does that all go? How does that all work?
So as part of the Meet a Mentor program with the Blue Team Village, you'd fill out an interest form, and they would pair you with somebody who could help you get to where you want to go, who has knowledge and experience in the things that you want to learn. But that's certainly not the only way to find a mentor in this industry. Honestly, the best way to find people that want to help you is just to post in Twitter, LinkedIn, Slack, any of these networking channels, what you're doing, what you're working on, what you're interested in, what your ambitions are, and you will find people are more than happy to jump in and give you feedback and give you advice and give you recommendations. And then you'll find people who want to extend that even further and really, truly help you with mock interviews, with revising your resume, with connecting you with folks that they know within the industry. It's one of those things where you get out of it what you put into it. So I recommend being on Discord, being on Slack, being on Twitter, being on LinkedIn, and posting, semi-regularly something interesting that you're working on or something interesting that you learned, and just see who comes to your channels, who comes to your social media platforms, and just jumps into the conversation.
So let's take a step back here, because you said you found this through Twitter, and that InfoSec Twitter is huge. I think that's another area. I'm going to be totally honest with folks. These are two areas, Twitter and Discord, that I'm completely new to. I mean, I'm not technically new to Twitter, but I'm never on it. So there's probably tons of opportunities that I miss on a daily, weekly, yearly basis because I'm not active on Twitter. So tell me about your Twitter experience. What has that been like? And, you keep saying that it's like that's where the conversation is at. So like what does that look like for you? How do you engage there?
Well, you just got to start somewhere. So just give you a quick example. You can go to Explore and put in hashtag InfoSec, and you will get just a huge feed of all the people who are talking about something that's InfoSec related. And there's a lot to hear. So I wouldn't recommend really spending too much time on any specific thing, but if you find something that's interesting to you, comment. Say, hey, thank you so much for sharing this. Follow them, send them a direct message, ask them a little bit more about their experience with the Elk Stack. It's a really generous community where everyone wants to help, and maybe not everyone knows the best way to help.
Yeah.
But everybody genuinely wants to help. And that's what I love about this community.
Helping people help you. That's like a big piece here. I love it. So I want to flip the tables here and put you in the, teacher seat, walking me through how to use these things. So I'm going to try and do it for my industry, just to give people an example of like a start from scratch way of doing this. And I've got Discord on my computer, and I'm going to be honest, I have not even gone into it since we did our last Discord video, but here it is. I'm updating it right now. So we're going to start with Twitter. And the main thing you threw out there was, you looked up the InfoSec hashtag. So I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me stop sharing.
And head over to Twitter. All right. So we've got my career therapy Twitter here. It might not be as straightforward for coaching, but let's see if we can nerd out with some folks. So
try going to the Explorer.
All right.
And try a hashtag career. Let's see what pops up here. Coaching. Or career development might work too, but let's try career coaching. So I want to see if that's something that people are searching for. Yeah. Now take a note of all the hashtags you're seeing. I see careers. I see career coaching, job seekers.
Career brand, interesting. Career coaching, career development, career choice, career change. All right, so that's what you do. You start looking for the hashtags here.
Just start looking for, because the hashtags are how everything's really being organized. When someone wants to talk about InfoSec, they put a hashtag InfoSec or a hashtag cybersecurity. But that's how they're letting everyone else know, like, I don't want to talk about this. If you want to talk about this, this is where I'm talking about it.
Nice. And one of the key things that I've struggled with as a career coach is all the people posting about careers. Like all the people posting about InfoSec are both people that work in the industry and like they're your peers, right? And I think that that's kind of similar here where it's all coaches most likely posting about these things and other people. So there's like different audiences that we need to keep in mind as we start looking for jobs and stuff, right? There's the people posting the jobs, which are the company pages. Then there's the people just engaging in the community, which are the practitioners. And so for me, it might even be like, I might type in layoff and see if that brings up, because I might be looking for potential clients, right? So,
and one thing to look for here is when you're seeing hashtags, what are those hashtags? And if you see a hashtag that looks very relevant to what you're looking for, dive into that rabbit hole and see where it leads you. Because there's a lot of different, hashtag this and hashtag that.
Yeah, layoff, company morale, small firm. So this is getting closer to like, companies that I might want to follow and help. Let's take a look here.
You might see a lot of people put job search. I see job search popping up a lot. So that might be something that someone who's just been laid off might be hashtagging job search. I may not be using the terminology right.
Yeah, that's always been the big question I had. What does someone who's looking for a job put in their hashtags? Oh, I know this person. Yeah, because it's always the companies that are selling to job seekers. Well, I think that makes a lot of sense. So now let's do Discord for after layoff. Let's just type that in and see what comes up. Oh, this is all just about Discord laying people off.
Look up best Discord for job seekers.
There we go.
And if you see something on Reddit, I personally really like Reddit.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a really great place to find a conversation that's happening.
Tell everyone a little bit about Reddit and your experiences there.
Reddit is a completely different animal. There's a lot of different communities, and these communities are called subreddits. So the one that you're on, Working Online, is one subreddit. There are thousands, maybe tens of thousands of different subreddits, and they all have a different theme. So the important thing is to find the ones that interest you and then just be active, contribute. If you see a conversation that's happening about, let's just say, DEF CON, on the DEF CON channel, and I can share with you what that looks like on Reddit. Join it, participate, talk about your experience. People want to help.
Nice.
But they first need to know that you exist.
I think that's such a good point. They first need to know that you exist. So here we are. We're on Work Online, Discord. And so this one is, when you join a new group here, you're going to find a bunch of rules. So let's just take a look at how this all sort of is laid out here. Welcome to our community. For it to be a worthwhile experience, we ask you to follow these rules. Be respectful and civil. Sending or linking harmful viruses is bad. This is a cybersecurity person. No referrals in the general chat. There's a dedicated channel for this. So they have an entire channel just for referrals. So that's awesome. Use proper grammar. Mentioning everyone is prohibited. Post content to the correct places. Don't post someone's personal information. Boom. So then we go over to the left here and we take a look at all the different things. So they've got something called earning sources. This channel will be dedicated to a great list of sources that accept workers. So test.io, testing time, Pulse Labs, user testing, so this looks like a group for user experience, job seekers. So, which are folks that I work with. We've got announcements, nothing, general. All right, so here we go. Someone looking for a job. Someone wanting 6 months of World of Warcraft.
A little bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah. But that's how these communities go, right? Like, the nice thing is it's not all business all the time. So you can actually connect with people in a real way. This person's a 15-year-old who's looking for a job. That's pretty cool. And then you just kind of keep going off topic. Questions. Here we go. This is probably
a great resource for you because you want to find job seekers who are asking questions.
And I could make videos around these different questions, right? What's your favorite online working site? Fiverr, Reddit, how do those work, etc. So, again, it's great for research. It's great for connection. It's great for jobs. Here's a developer role that they posted. Shameless promotions. This is people promoting themselves, looks like. And then I want to see where that referral one was. Maybe you got to be invited to that.
Maybe to be invited.
I think this is like a really good starting point. And again, a lot of times folks will go to one Discord and then be like, I didn't find what I needed. I'm done. And I encourage folks to go deeper, to keep looking until you find what you're looking for. And probably for me, now that I'm thinking about it a little harder, there's probably Discords about like how to find remote jobs, and Discords about like more specific job goals. So rather than job seeker, I should probably be looking for the goals that people have as job seekers. So I want to work remotely, or I want to break into FANG, or I want to do X, Y, and Z. There's probably more specific things around that.
What I found to be the most successful is that when there's an online virtual event, there will usually be a Discord for that online virtual event. And that's almost replaced the entire, like, go to the convention and swap business cards and talk, over a cup of coffee. When there's an event happening, that's
where do you find the online events? Where do you typically go to find those?
Usually I find it either through one of my Slack channels that are related to InfoSec, through InfoSec Twitter, or through Reddit. I'll see it in like a channel like NetSec or cybersecurity. Someone will post like, hey, there's a SANS conference. It's completely free. Join it. Nice. And it's a no-brainer. Why not? And then typically what I'll find is during that SANS conference, there will be a Discord for all the people who are there to talk about it while they're.
Could you pull up an example of your Reddit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Search.
So let me share my screen. And I was just doing a little digging around before our conversation today. And I found one that I hadn't heard of before, DEF CON. And the nice thing about finding a subreddit like this is you can join it, and then when people are posting in it, you can keep your feed just to the subreddits that you want to hear about. So within this subreddit, I found a video about Discord 101, specifically for DEF CON, from a guy, John Hammond, who I see posting a lot of InfoSec content. This guy does a lot of like capture the flag type of events. I've participated in at least one or two of his capture the flag events. So these are like great people that, outside of the platforms that we're talking about, you can subscribe to John Hammond's YouTube feed.
Let's follow this thread, because you found a person that shows up repeatedly. And I always encourage people to connect with the noisy people. Noisy people know people. And so let's click through to his YouTube. So did he post that post on Reddit? Let's start there.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he did.
And there's only 4 comments. So the first thing I want to call out is that this is someone with thousands of followers, right? And if you go to his YouTube channel, there might be lots and lots of comments. So let's go take a look there.
So there's definitely going to be a lot more action on his YouTube channel.
Right. So yeah, so he's got 32 comments on his YouTube channel. So there's going to be less of a chance that he responds to you, although still probably a pretty high chance that he'll respond to you if you comment on YouTube. However, if you head over to Reddit, you can comment on that post and almost for sure he's going to respond.
I would think so because there's only 4
There's only
comments here.
4 comments, and I think a couple are his. So like responding to people. So I can't see your screen exactly, but like these are the opportunities to even connect with influential people, right? And that's huge. So now you can go over to his YouTube channel, and now you're subscribed, and you can see all of his content there. And then I would even pull this over, and don't go too stalkery with liking everything, but we can head over to LinkedIn and look him up too, and see what it's like, what his LinkedIn profile looks like. So let's see if we can find him there. And this is the kind of stuff that people, I feel like they don't think about, right? They read something and they move on. They read something and they move on. But if we can pause and we can dig a little deeper, we can actually find some interesting things. I was working with someone who was very anti-networking, anti-social media. And I was like, well, you don't want to get coffee with people and you don't want to like and share posts. What do you want to do? And they're like, I just think it's disingenuous and it's not authentic. So I don't want to do it at all. And I go, okay, how about, there he is. So I said, all right, let's reverse engineer this. Find an article that was helpful to you. So he went on Medium and found an article that he had read recently that was, related to his work that he really liked. I said, okay, great. Go to the LinkedIn page of the person who wrote that article. He goes to the LinkedIn page. Look at their activity. That person had shared a link to the Medium article and only 2 people had commented on it. So I said, just say thank you for writing this in the comment. Don't ask him for anything. Just be great, share your gratitude. So he goes, oh, well, that's easy enough. So now he's out there networking, putting comments of thank you to people that write things that he's interested in. And that's a huge way of connecting with people and sharing. Basically what you're doing is like, if you're going to consume someone's work, you might as well thank them for it, right? Like who does that hurt? Everyone's happy to get a thank you. So now you're on that person's radar in that person's network. So they said thank you to the person, looked at their profile, that person connects with them now. Now you've got yourself a brand new connection who is an influencer in the field. So let's take a look at, before you connect, let's take a look at the activity.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's his activity. I watched this, I don't know if it was this video, but I watched one of his videos on the Google Capture the Flag event.
Cool. And there's 2 comments on it.
And one of them is his.
So this is what I'm saying. It's like, even people with tons of subscribers, they're trying to share their stuff everywhere. And they're not getting tons of engagement. So anything that you can do to like say thank you to these folks is incredible in getting you on their radar. And you do that enough over time, you're going to have a killer network in 5-10 years.
Absolutely.
And as I'm saying this, I'm like, Martin, get back out there, start doing this more, right? I'm even reminding myself to do this. All right. So I want to open it up. If anyone has questions about networking, Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different things, put them in the chat, put them in the comments where you're at, whatever platform you're on, and we'll definitely dig into those. One of the other things that I wanted to touch on in our conversation today is Quora. Do you ever use Quora?
I used to, when I was in a sales capacity looking for clients, I would look for questions that clients would ask, and then I would jump in and be like, yeah, here's your answer. If you want to discuss this, let's jump on a phone call.
Okay. So like you would actually talk with real clients there, or you would just find the questions there?
I'd find the questions there and I'd try to turn them into clients.
Okay.
And I didn't try that strategy long enough to know if it was going to be successful or not, because I inevitably chose to pivot my career shortly thereafter.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's something that's been coming up more and more in like the searches that I've been doing. We quoted some Quora stuff yesterday. I mean, the key thing I'm trying to point out here is that there's just an endless number of resources out there, of people trying to help, of communities that are trying to talk about these things. It's this weird sort of, I don't know, mental fart that we have where like as soon as we start job searching, we feel like we have to come up with everything from our own brain, or it's not authentic for some reason, when that's so clearly not how the actual world works. Google exists and we all use it. And I just find it very interesting that, it's like we have Google deficiency syndrome when we're job searching. Like people forget that you can take whatever question you have and put it into a search engine and get a ton of answers and communities and perspectives and connections just from that idea. So, Alex, I appreciate you jumping on today, walking us through these different platforms and sharing all the different insights that you've gathered in your job search. Is there anything else that you'd want to share, or bits of advice you'd like to leave in the community?
I just want to send my good vibes to everybody who's looking for a job right now. It sucks, I get it, but you just gotta stay persistent. You just gotta keep knocking on doors, and eventually one of those doors is going to open. So just keep at it, and it'll happen.
I love it, man. And what would be like the biggest success you've gotten from all these different channels? What would you say your key, like if there was like one thing that happened that you were like, damn, that's why I keep coming back. What was something great that happened for you?
I'm just finding people that care. They're like, I've been there. I know it sucks. How can I help? And then you just find, if you look for the people who want to help, you'll find them. And it really just reinvigorates me and kind of restores my faith in humanity to see people who are just so open to helping and happy to help so selflessly. They don't want anything in return. They just know where you are right now, and they know that InfoSec needs people. We need people. We just clearly as an industry haven't really figured out how to on-ramp people into this industry. There's a lot of interest and there's a lot of talent. And, joining this industry, it's going to be part of my mission to find a better way to help take all of this interest and all this talent and find a way to onboard people so that we can get them to where they need to be to join the community and not feel like they've applied for like 300 jobs and haven't seen any love from anybody, because I felt that before and it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on anybody.
And that's the key here, right? When you're just applying online, it's isolating and lonely. When you're joining communities and talking to people, it's warm and friendly. So let's push people in that direction. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing these perspectives. Good luck in your job search. Is there anywhere that, or how would you like people to get in touch if there's some cybersecurity folks watching, or anyone in the tech world that wants to get in touch with you? What would be the best way to do so?
LinkedIn probably would be the best. I don't really quite look like my LinkedIn picture anymore. Grew the hair out a little bit. But LinkedIn's probably the best way. But if you want to connect on Twitter or Slack or Discord, I would love to connect with folks who are in the community. Maybe they're just getting started. Maybe they're a little more well-established. But we're all in this together. Let's link up. Let's see how we can help each other further our careers.
Nice. I'm going to put your LinkedIn in the comment here, and just so everyone gets the visual. There he is. Definitely a little longer on the hair these days. I love
Yeah, pre-corona and post-corona.
it. Totally where it is. That's awesome, dude. Well, I'll let you have some time back in your day. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with your search, my man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for everyone who joined us this morning. And be well, be safe, have fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, everyone. Huge thank you to Alex for coming on and sharing his perspectives on Discord, Reddit, and all these different platforms that we can utilize in our job search. I'm going to keep today a little on the shorter side because I think that was a really awesome deep dive. So I will give you a little time back in your morning. What I encourage you to do with the next 20 minutes that you would normally spend watching this video is to head over to either Twitter or LinkedIn or Reddit or Discord or whichever platform. You don't have to do all the platforms. You just have to do one well. So pick the one, maybe test them all, and then pick the one that you like most and go deep. If it's Twitter, go deep on Twitter. Follow the hashtags, follow the people, connect with folks, send DMs. If it's LinkedIn, comment, share, like. If it's Discord, go join those communities and start commenting in the in the hashtags and the categories and whatever they're called. Get out there, meet people. Don't let the job search be an isolating process. And good luck. Thanks everyone for watching today. This has been a blast. I'll chat with you bright and early tomorrow morning, Wednesday, September 2nd. We're in a whole brand new month. And I'm excited to bring you more of these morning chats and more Get Up and Job Search. Cheers, everyone.